Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to do March to the King. This one, we're going to do Godzilla versus King Kong. We are doing this on my live stream. So while you guys can't see the audience, there is an audience here. They are here to... We have a lot of good things planned tonight. But for you guys, we're doing a catch-up. So I'm trying to kill two birds in one stone. And we're going to do the last two March to the King videos that were supposed to be done not only this week, but the past week. We're going to get them done, and we're going to start. So here we go. Alright guys, welcome back. So March to the King, Godzilla vs. King Kong, and as if you know already, this version of the March to the King is basically going through all the movies once again and finding that greatest moment. Now some of the Shadow movies, I'm starting to realize that it's kind of tough to do that. You know, it's easy to do it for the 54 movie. There's plenty of parts in that movie that you could find, and we did find one, or at least I found mine. Godzilla Raids Again was a little bit tougher, and now we move on to King Kong versus Godzilla. And here's another movie that's a little tough for a multitude of reasons. Number one, even though this is a very popular movie amongst many fans, it is quite the cheese fest. Yes, it is quite the cheese fest, number one. Number two, it is a movie that involves another monster, a very popular one, as you all know, King Kong. So I had to really I was really limited as to what I was focusing on in terms of picking my greatest moment, because I didn't want to pick any moment that involved Kong, because this series is not about Kong. This series is about Godzilla. And after watching it painfully, no, there was some good parts. But honestly, I think for me, the greatest moment is when Godzilla comes out of the iceberg and sets his sights on that military base when he's traveling through the water. The reason I like this scene so much is because when you think about how Godzilla Raids Again ended, it's almost like a link there, even though it's not officially a link, but it's almost like a link. He was trapped in ice when we left him, and now he comes out of the ice. The submarine before that, like leading up to it, and then his embarking down on the base. And there's actually a very funny scene in this part. So if you go back and watch the movie, you'll see that as he's traveling towards this military base, right after he gets out the iceberg, there's this door that opens, and it's letting out all these tanks, right? And these tanks are coming out, and as they're coming out, there's other military weapons firing on Godzilla as he's getting closer to the base. And right as he gets to the base, he starts blowing his atomic breath and starts destroying everything. And those same tanks that came out, they completely go in reverse and go back into the tunnel. Like, I don't even think some of them fired a shot. They basically came out and was like, oh shit, he's here, and then they bounced. It was kind of funny. But I really liked that scene a lot. One of the things I remember saying that I liked about this particular Godzilla suit, even though I actually don't like the suit overall, I think it's one of the dorkier looking ones they've ever made, but I did like his claws in this movie. He had some big ass nails, man. I mean, you could do some damage with those nails. And I thought that was one of the better parts of what turns out to be a really, really bad suit. But I thought this was, for me, the greatest moment just because of where we left him off in the last movie. And at the same time, it was just a nice shot seeing him come down the ice, you know, trying to make it look like it's like, you know, either Antarctica or whatever, or one of the poles. But yeah, I thought that to me was the greatest moment. And again, it's kind of tough to pull one out of this movie because there's a lot of Kong involved, and there are some iconic scenes with Godzilla and Kong. But like I said, I want to kind of focus on Godzilla because this is his series. This is what it's all about him. And Kong, you know, he's already had his own movie, and we're gonna have Kong versus Godzilla coming after Godzilla King of the Monsters. So I kind of want to keep Kong a little separate. I want to kind of keep, because there'll be other great moments where that's going to involve another monster. It's just not going to involve a monster on the level of Kong in terms of popularity here in the States. So, so that for me was probably the best moment. This is the first moment he emerged out of the ice, and you hear him during his roar, and then he descends on the base and pretty much causes havoc, and then goes from there. And I think that of everything that I saw in the movie, and separating Kong from every other scene, that to me was the greatest moment. Just I always like that part of this movie. I'm not a big fan of this movie at all. I've actually, it's so funny when I think back to like playing advocate for Godzilla versus Kong after Godzilla 2014, and so many people criticize me. But it's funny because I actually don't like King Kong versus Godzilla. It's one of the few Showa movies that I just don't like at all. But that particular scene I've always liked very much, for just because of the way it was shot. The way he looks from a distance initially is pretty intimidating. It's not until you get a close-up shot of him that he looks really dorky. But yeah, so that's my moment in King Kong versus Godzilla. What do you have for a favorite moment? You don't have to be limited to just Godzilla scenes. If you want to throw in a scene with Kong, that's perfectly fine. I'm just trying to focus on the Big G himself. And that's it. I look forward to seeing your comments in the section down below. Until the next one, this is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching E.T.N. Click here to watch more content. Or you can click here to become an E.T.N patron. Don't forget to leave a comment. Also, make sure you like and share this video. If you want to know when the next video is up, click the notification bell next to the subscribe button. And most of all, make sure to click that subscribe button for regular content.